Hi there, Facebook land and LinkedIn land and YouTube world. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim.
We're from a Teak of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woohoo! So we learned last week that there are people out there that's what they look forward to.
Yes. Apparently they need their woohoo.
They do to get their week going. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, well,
we get it.
Yeah, get you in the mood, I guess. Get you ready for the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe we should be doing this at like 8 o'clock in the morning to get them going.
You are so funny.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Now, for the people on the West Coast, it is 8 o'clock.
It is 8 o'clock in the morning. So for them, yeah, they're getting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Woohoo!
Yeah.
So,
we are not morning people. That's the reason why you don't see us at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
Yes.
Because it would not be good.
Still pouring coffee into myself to wake up.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, last week on Thursday, we were at the junior high at 7:30 in the morning.
7:30 in the morning, which is early for us.
It's very early for us.
And there we were.
Yeah.
And we were speaking to rather large groups of seventh graders for a couple of hours. We had to entertain them.
We were there for 2 hours.
Yeah. So
talking about entrepreneurship.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It was fun.
Yeah. No, I felt pretty good about it. I was amazed that we were able to keep their attention for that long, and they were engaged for the most part. So yeah, I felt pretty good about it.
It was fun. Yeah. So busy week.
Yes, very busy week.
We got the webinar later on today. If you haven't registered for the webinar, I don't know what you're waiting on. Now's the time. If you're one of those procrastinators, and we've actually done webinars on procrastination. If you're one of those procrastinators, the clock is ticking. You've got about an hour until our webinar begins.
Yeah,
it begins at
a little more than an hour,
12:15 Eastern time.
Yes. And it only lasts 30 minutes or less.
Yes.
So you're not tied in for a real long time.
No.
And they're very informative.
They are. And today's is on overcoming imposter syndrome.
I think a lot of people can relate to that.
I think they can. Most people out there at some point in their life, they feel like they're in over their head. They feel like they're a fraud. They feel like, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna figure out I don't belong in this position, or I don't belong in this job, or whatever. And they suffer from imposter syndrome. And so that's one of the things we're talking about.
But I think that's how you know you're doing something, is when you reach that point. Because if you never reach that point, that means you're probably not extending yourself very far, staying right there in that comfort zone. Exactly. And that's what a lot of people do. So there's a lot of folks out there, they never experience this because they never get outside of their comfort zone. They found something that, they can do relatively well and make a living at it. And that's where they stay, is in their little box. And so they never feel like a fraud because they're not.
No.
Of course, they're also not growing. They're not accomplishing much. So those are your options. Good options. Thanks a lot for that.
So either feel like a fraud
or stay in your little box.
Stay in your box. Yeah, great. No, it's not that bad.
No.
So show up for our webinar, register for it. If you already have plans, you got something scheduled, we get it. We're busy people too. Register and we'll send you the recording, because we do record those webinars.
Yes.
All right. Today, we're going to talk about something that two songs immediately popped into mind.
Okay.
When you suggested this particular topic.
I'm sure I know one of them, and it's probably, I'm guessing, a Guns N' Roses tune.
Yes.
Okay.
Although that was the second one that popped in mind for me.
What was the first one?
The first one is from one of my favorite bands. And
Duran Duran?
No, earlier than that. This band I started listening to in the late 70s, early 80s. And it's Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh.
And it's The Waiting.
Oh, I was going to say the Knack, but no. I don't know what Patience song there would be from the
Knack. There wouldn't.
My Sharona was not a Patience song.
but the waiting is the
The
hardest
waiting
part.
is the hardest part. Yeah. Okay.
And then you're right, Guns N' Roses and Patience.
Yeah.
My favorite song by Guns N' Roses is Patience. But that's what we're talking about today, is having patience. And patience is supposed to be a virtue.
Yes.
Would you call yourself a virtuous person based on that?
I would say sorta. Sometimes I'm patient and I can wait for whatever needs to happen, especially if I know I'm going to have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
There's other times when I'm not so patient. I want things to move along a whole lot faster. And that's okay, because that's that sense of urgency. Sometimes waiting for things to happen doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But then there's other times where you do have to have that patience. And man, have we had to deal with that over the last few weeks.
Yeah. So I think this is a double-edged sword, because literally in one breath, people will look at the calendar and say, oh my gosh, it's the middle of May.
It's middle of May.
Where has the time gone? And then the next thing they're saying is, I can't wait for whatever to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Memorial
work that way.
Day, 4th of July.
And they're
vacation.
literally wishing their time away.
Wishing their day away.
That's what happens with patience.
Yeah.
Is you begin to wish the time away. You begin to wish your life away. And it's already going fast enough as it is.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if you sped it up that it would be much better.
No, I don't want it to speed up.
And so when it comes to patience, a lot of it has to do with this time parameter.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked before, there's 3 different types of time. You've got man's time, which is what we've all created for ourselves. That clock on the wall, the calendar, stuff like that. That's our time. God's time, which is generally when things will indeed happen. And then you have goose time, which
geese have their own clocks. Yes.
Geese are, the sad part. This has nothing to do with patience, by the way. The
What?
sad part, the farm that had all those geese near where we used to live, they sold that farm and somebody bought it, but the geese aren't there anymore. So people won't be able to learn the lesson of patience and goose time from the geese that used to live there.
Maybe they figured some way to get them to go away. I don't know.
I don't know that they weren't wild. I mean, those were...
Yeah, maybe they toted them off.
I would
maybe
guess
the people who owned the farm took them with them. If they weren't wild, so
I would hope so. Yeah.
Of course, now we have that other intersection down there, and what is it? Armburst?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
Oh, with the ducks.
With the ducks, yeah. So you have to watch for the ducks and the duck crossing.
Those are not domesticated ducks.
No, and they have a mind of their own.
But they do take up residence in people's yards.
Yes, they do. And everybody around there seems okay with it. So
yeah.
So you have to watch for the ducks, and then watch for all the geese out there by.
Ducks seem to have a purpose when they're crossing a street.
Yes, they move a little faster. You are correct.
Geese do not.
No, and so if you're out there on that road out there by what's out there, Pepsi. What's it? Is it Avenue B?
Yeah.
In Youngwood.
In Youngwood.
Yeah. Yeah, you got all those.
Oh,
geese.
Those are Canada geese.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live there from spring through fall.
Yeah.
That's where they live. But the geese that we used to have by our old house, those were not Canada geese. Those were the big white geese that you see, like, think mother goose type of geese.
Yes.
That's what taught me goose time.
Yeah. So, and you have to have patience when you're dealing with goose time.
Yes, you do. Because you don't know.
Yeah, no, they'll do weird things like stop in the middle of the road and just start looking up at the sky and stand there.
Well, the conversation generally goes, you've got goose number 1, that's Fred. And Fred waddles out there and stops and looks around and turns to goose number 2, who's
Betty,
and says, What are we doing out here?
Yeah.
And Betty says, we're going to the other side. And Fred then says, Well, which side is the other side? And then they start to have a conversation amongst themselves while you're sitting there in your car waiting for them to get from one point to the other.
Yeah. And sometimes they forget what they were even doing.
Constantly forget.
Yeah. So we were experiencing a lot of that over the last couple of weeks with the friends that we were hanging out with. And this is also where the topic of patience came from. Is we just completed the senior games. We had our banquet Friday night. And you won how many medals?
6.
6. How many
6.
first place?
4.
4. Okay. And I won 9. And I want to say there's 6 or 7 of them were first place. I forget. There were a bunch. And so we cleaned up. We did well. Of course, it's easy because there just aren't that many competitors in our age group. It's once you go past 60, that's when you start getting a lot more competition. It gets more fierce. Hope power's not getting ready to go out here.
It is. So if we get cut off,
we get cut off. Yeah, electricity's about to go
gone.
out. Yeah, because yes, we've had storms here, so it's been kind of crazy. That's another thing. I have to be patient with that too. But I think the thing that I figured out as far as patience is concerned is I have definitely hit that point where I can tell that my body is changing, and I don't like it. It stinks.
So to hasten that, we went to LA Fitness on Thursday.
Oh gosh. Max, you did a great job with the workout.
Max is a personal trainer there at LA Fitness.
Yes.
Does a fabulous job getting people into shape.
Yes.
And also getting people to realize that they're not in shape.
Yeah, we figured that out pretty quick.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, he wore us out. So if you want a good workout, LA Fitness, go see Max. He wore us out. We were sore that night, and then the next day, oh my goodness,
my knees just swelled up.
My knees hurt, my legs hurt, and it was with the knees it's arthritis, and with the legs it was muscles. And he actually found a couple of muscles that I forgot about.
And then you got to wait.
You got to wait for them to.
Got to wait for the swelling to go down.
For the swelling and the soreness to go away. But we were already primed for that just from everything else that we had done. Because a week before we got our first shock when we played pickleball for the first time.
See, pickleball wasn't nearly as bad for me as it was.
That's because I was running a whole lot more than you were. And so the knees, especially the right knee, it really bore the brunt of that. But the muscles were sore too. Yeah. And then what else did we do? It wasn't so bad. Well, even with pitching horseshoes, because the number that we had to throw, it was a lot.
50 horseshoes.
Yeah. Well, for singles, you had to do 70.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. We used to pitch horseshoes all the time when I was a kid. They didn't pitch horseshoes, so she led a deprived childhood.
That's all I've been hearing for the past 2 weeks.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're deprived.
Is that, his version of shuffleboard and my version of shuffleboard are two completely different versions.
No. My world shuffleboard is the full blown thing with the stick, and with her it's in a bar, so we can tell where her family hung out when she was a kid. It's
on the table, and you got the sand, and
in a bar.
Doesn't necessarily have to be in a bar.
Okay, in a casino, because that's where we played the last time. I guess it could be somebody's house.
Yes.
Well, I was military with families. None of us toted that kind of stuff around. That was just a giant. Oh my gosh.
It is giant.
Yeah, that'd be awful. No, nobody had those.
But I'm good at it.
No, for me, it's full blown old people shuffleboard where you got the stick and you push the discs down the board.
Don't do that.
So we didn't do shuffleboard. Apparently they've never played bocce ball. No, don't do bocce. Don't do horseshoes. Which horseshoes? Now, see, that's cheap people's game. That's poor people's game. Because all you need is 2 stakes and 4 shoes, and you got a game. And then 40 feet of space, 2 places to put some pits. And so did pretty well considering. Mm-hmm. But
I scored.
But I
was very consistent.
Yeah, we got the gold medal for mixed doubles, and we would have beaten anybody at any age level on that one. So. And then with singles, I won that one easily. Mm-hmm. Of course, I was the only person in my age group that did that, but I would have won if I'd have been with the older group too. Any part of it's good. We pitched horseshoes all the time when I was a kid.
However, you have to have patience.
Yes, you do have to have patience because pitching 70 shoes takes a long
yes,
time.
It does. And like I said, when it comes to some of the things that go on in life, patience is required for that waiting period.
Yes.
Patience is required when working with certain people.
Mm-hmm. When you're recovering from injuries, yes. Which we've gone through. We've been through that.
And like I said, it amazes me how some people are just like, well, I just want to push through this and get to the point. You don't know when that end point's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And for some of you, when it comes to patience, you've got certain events that you're looking forward to. You're looking forward to vacation. You're looking forward to certain holidays, birthdays, anniversaries. And you're just like, I wish it would get here. Other things you don't know. You have open dates. They're open-ended things. And you don't know when they're going to occur. You got to have patience.
Right.
You just have to wait it out.
And then sometimes there's some interim steps that you really need to take, and people want to bypass those
mm-hmm.
steps. Again, comparing this to your body and athletics, how often do we see, and you see it at all levels, even at the professional level, where you have an athlete that they get hurt, mm-hmm. something happens. And instead of having the patience to wait and let it all heal so they can get back to 100%, they try to get back out there before it's healed. And then sometimes they make it even worse. And that can happen in your business and personal life too. So sometimes you've got those interim steps that you need to take. You need to wait. You need to get, but you don't want to wait too long. So that's the catch-22. Mm-hmm. You got to be patient.
Got to have that balance.
But you got to move too at some point.
Yes. So for hockey fans here in the Pittsburgh area, your patience has now begun as you wait for next season. Because your season ended last night.
Condolences.
Yours hasn't ended.
No, my team is still in there. My Hurricanes, go Canes. Yeah.
My season ended quite a while ago.
Yeah.
I think yours
ended before it started.
They were doing well.
Yeah, but they never had a hope.
That's the big fake out. That's the problem with the Flyers.
Yes.
Is you get this big fake out.
Pirates do that to us every year too.
Pirates do. The Pirates
have a decent start.
They usually have a good first half of the season.
They won't fall off the cliff until later.
It's the All-Star break that kills them.
Yeah.
And so we'll see.
That's why I don't really follow the Pirates much anymore.
Speaking of baseball, did you see Albert Pujols pitched last night?
No, I did not.
Yes, he did.
Did he really?
Yes, he did. God bless him.
Wow.
He got, and I want to say he got all 3 outs.
No, good for him.
In the inning. Yeah.
Good for him.
I mean, amazing. Yeah, the Cardinals won big. I mean, like they were winning really big when they brought him in.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, save a pitcher.
Yeah. Yes, that's exactly it. All right.
So how long has he waited patiently for his turn to pitch?
Was it 19 seasons that he's been playing? I mean,
it's kind of like what I guess what part of what prompted this was thinking about there's a new television series coming on.
Oh, yeah.
Called Star Trek, another Star Trek series. It's like, oh my gosh, Star Trek has just exploded.
Yeah.
I don't even watch it because I can't keep up with it. Called Strange New Worlds. And this is where the idea of patience came from. I had to look this up. It's based off of the original pilot for the original series of Star Trek that became, the episode was called The Cage. And then they changed that and they used it to set up a 2-parter once they actually had the TV series going. And it became the Menagerie. And it was 2-parter, and it was the 11th and 12th episodes aired of the original series. The pilot itself, I don't believe was ever aired. If it was, it may have been, but
later on.
And it had a different captain. It was Christopher Pike. Had a different first officer, but he calls first officer number 1. It was actually played by Majel Barrett, who I got to meet many years ago. She's no longer with us, but she was Gene Roddenberry's wife. The only character that was held over from that pilot to the original series was Leonard Nimoy, Spock. Spock was the only one. And it's interesting that they're now doing a series based off of that original cast, original characters for the pilot. And it's called Strange New Worlds. And it was pointed out that this is the longest wait in the history of television between the making of a pilot and getting the green light for the series. 57 years.
57 years.
57 years. Now, unfortunately, none of the actors who were in the original pilot are around anymore.
Right.
So it's all brand new actors, but it's based off of those characters. So yeah. So you talk about patience. 57 years to finally have a series made based off of a pilot. I don't know that will ever be topped. That's amazing.
Mike wants to have a conversation about Star Trek, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Is he a big Star Trek fan?
You two can just
have
a great time. The really only Star Trek one I sort of kind of liked Next Generation, but only because of Q.
John Delancey. I've met him too.
He's my favorite character.
Yeah, I've met him as well.
The rest of I'm just like, whatever.
Matter of fact, we've met just about the entire cast of Next Generation, except for Patrick Stewart and Denise Crosby and Will Wheaton.
Yeah, I'm surprised Will Wheaton hasn't been to Pittsburgh.
He's going to be in August.
Okay.
And then I've met Shatner and who else? George Takei. We call him Uncle George. He was in our Christmas card one year.
He was.
Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura, and Walter Koenig, who played Chekhov. And they're the only surviving members of. I never got a chance to meet Leonard Nimoy or DeForest Kelley.
No. But kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, got a webinar coming up later on today on overcoming imposter syndrome. So make sure that's less than an hour away. Make sure you register for that. If you can't make it to the actual webinar itself, register and we will send you the recording. What else do we got coming up?
I don't know.
This week.
That's about it.
This is a busy week. Today's an actual busy day.
Today's a busy day. We got a lot of stuff going on today.
We do. So good things going on. If you need to get in contact with us, feel free to reach out to us here on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You can go to our website, which is
ateagueofyourown.com.
ateagueofyourown.com. Go there. You can actually in the contact section, you can set up an appointment with us.
Yeah.
So, and then you too can hang out with us.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. If some of you would like to be on our live, and that way, much like Mike did, you can say woohoo.
Yes, you can do woohoo with us.
Let us know. Reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to schedule you to come on here. All right. I think
then if we get enough of those, then we can make a compilation of guest woohoos.
Like I did for the 100th Facebook Live. I took all the pictures from the previous 99.
Yes, yeah. We could just make ourselves a nice thing and maybe figure out how to use it as an intro, and it'll just be a bunch of people going woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. That'd be fun.
Your idea of fun and that's like when Max did do our workout at the end of it, he's just like, so did you have fun? And I'm like, no.
That wasn't fun at all.
Your idea of fun and my idea of fun are two completely different things. My idea of fun has nothing to do with, with lifting heavy objects and stepping up and down steps and throwing that ball.
Slam balls.
Yeah,
I love the slam ball. That's my favorite.
Planking.
I keep trying to break it. It never happens.
It doesn't happen.
No,
that was not fun.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks, I guess.
But I guess if you get to watch other people do it, now that could be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to become personal trainers and watch people,
Need to get in slightly better shape.
What?
I think anybody would look at us and go, you're not in shape. Why would I trust you to help me get in shape?
Never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
You do. You never know.
All right. So
okay.
We will be back next week. And who knows what the topic will be. Actually, that's one of the things y'all can do. Put in suggestions.
Yeah, send some
for
suggestions
topics.
for some topics.
What would you like to hear
Yeah,
about?
what do you want to hear us talk about?
One of the things that you talked about was setting people up for the next book that we could discuss.
Yes. Yeah. Because you want to do another book series.
I would like to do another book series.
And so we need to figure out. I don't think we want to do Think and Grow Rich just because that's too long. So we might find something much shorter.
Okay. Okay. I actually have an idea.
Actually, we could do that one that Mike Dalton talked about.
Which book?
I forget the name of it.
Oh, yeah. I know what you are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one on management.
Yeah. Was it
Peter
Drucker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That might work.
We could do that. It's a tiny book. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. So we will see you next week. If you need to get in contact with us, like we said, go to the website atofyourown.com. Reach out to us here on LinkedIn or on YouTube or on Facebook, and we will see you next week. Bye. Everybody.